Shalom. Welcome to another episode of 9 Months Out, Father and Son Podcast. My name is Rodney.
My name is Dylan.
What up, man?
What's up? How you been?
Nigga, I see you every day. I've been okay. I've been all right. I've had some really good days. I've had some really bad days. I'm not feeling the best right now, which isn't pleasurable as we enter the holiday season. On an emotional and personal level, been both excited and frustrated. Excited about the possibilities of life. Frustrated with you. But it's all good, and I know it all ends up even better than I imagined it. So I ain't tripping too much. Why go on with you, Jamaican?
I've been all right. I mean, like you said, good days, worse days, but overall, I've been keeping my head up, and I know there's always a better day the next day.
It's tough, yo, when you have like tension, I guess, or like discomfort with the people that you're supposed to be closest to. It tests you, and you really got to think about how to approach situations. When you and I are not in agreement or in alignment, what does your brain do? Does it think about how to resolve issues, or does it figure out how to escape them?
I think at times it kind of, I would admit, it doesn't really always try to figure out. It tries to figure out a way to just make it easier, or just not make it so, I guess at times, taxing.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but it doesn't necessarily always resolve it, which, I mean, yeah, it might feel better, but it doesn't, in the end of the day, make it good.
Yeah. It's like when you put a Band-Aid over something that requires stitches.
Yeah.
You know? Which is why, like, we talked earlier. You got to divulge all the things. But I really wanted to figure out a strategy to talk about the things that we talked about earlier, because it was really bothering me, yo. And there's like 3 different versions of me that exist in our relationship. There's the man in me, right? Just like the natural man who I am, who I've been nurtured to be. There's the father in me, which is probably like my highest level of existence. It incorporates a lot of wisdom, and I have intuitions that I'm so thankful for that allow me to steer our relationship and help me steer you. And then there's the boy in me. And even when I'm standing or sitting in front of you at any given moment, like, I'm liable to kind of want to revert into the boyish version of myself. And I have to remember that in our relationship, I am the leader here. And not because you're not capable of leading in certain things, but because I have to show you how to lead. And it wasn't something that I don't think was ever taught to me. And so in real time, I told you earlier, like, I'm trying to teach myself about the man that I never got to experience growing up. And so it's a super unique experience to exist in my body sometimes when I'm dealing with you, because I'm learning as I go. You piss me off, though. you really pissed me off, bro. I ain't gonna hold you. Yeah, what you been listening to lately? Because you always have your damn headphones on. So what you listening to?
Honestly, mad Michael Jackson. I don't know why. It's like it's like mostly it's been Escape more recently. I don't know. It's had a hold on me recently. I don't know why. It's been super like in the mood for me as of recent.
That's crazy as hell. Cause like, I mean, I respect Mike, of course, but I'm not like the biggest Michael Jackson fan. Why? Cause I ain't gonna hold you. Sorry to cut you off, but you walk around and it looks like you listening to hardcore gangster rap. So to hear that you listening to Michael Jackson is a total contradiction to what your physical disposition would have me believe you're listening to. So just help me understand this.
So it kind of stemmed from at school. So there's this kid in my class. I think I told you about him a little while ago, and he made the claim that Drake's better than Michael Jackson.
Drugs.
And everyone in the class was on him because what are you talking about, right? And I was like, you know, maybe I should like go like deep into like his discography, Michael Jackson's, and it started off with Invincible, and from there it's just been, I don't know, it's really like really enjoying it like a lot, than more than I thought I would.
Did you get to Bad yet, or did you?
I didn't do bad yet. No, I've
Okay. Oh,
mostly
you
just,
ain't even get to the good Mike yet.
yeah, it's really just been like Thriller, Escape, Invincible, and a little Off the Wall.
A little off the wall. It's crazy. Okay. Next up, you gotta listen to Prince.
Think so? Is he like,
From a musicality standpoint, I think Prince played. I think he played like 28 different instruments. Just it'll be a little abstract for you for sure, but it's quality. There's a lot of really good music. I wish I could catch you up on. Some things you gotta just seek out yourself. But like even this album I have up here right now, Capone and Noriega. Like you know who Capone and Noriega are? The Invincible, Untouchable, CNN. Like every album that I put up here is classic to me. So I have a hobby of collecting albums that I think are classics based on my era of music. So if you see an album up here, you might want to dig in, champ. I'm only gonna steer you right. I've been listening to Wale. I can't lie, this Wale album is it's one of the better albums that I've had to experience in the last like 5 years. To me, and this might be a little controversial, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Wale is Wale makes the second best music in his generation out of all artists. Only second to me to Kendrick Lamar. And that's a hot take because he's not like highly regarded. But in terms of like his content, musicality, his production is always, he does a lot of samples on this album, but that doesn't bother me. Historically, like he loves live instrumentation. People from the DMV area, DC specifically, have a keen awareness of just like of instrumentation, which Wale leans into. He's special, man, and he's grown up, and his music is reflective, and it usually is on par with where I am in life. So this album is incredible, man. It's all I want to listen to.
yeah, I heard.
Kiss my ass. It's my house. I'll blast music if I want to. What shall we talk about today? I'll let you lead.
What's a generational curse that you either want to break or you think you have already broken?
You and these damn questions. You don't want to ask me about fashion, mustaches, nothing. Obviously, I'll start with the relationship with my dad. You know, he didn't have a great relationship with his father. I am super intentional about not repeating that cycle. Because that would have been essentially 3 generations of men who are disconnected from their fathers. And I can't do that. Like I'll fight like hell to make sure that doesn't happen. And so that's one thing. I mean, I think you know that. Another generational curse that I wanted to break the curse that exists on both sides of my family of people who almost were. And there have been many people on both sides of my family who I think had really big ambitions, really desired to have a high level of achievement, and they never quite hit the mark. But some of them, when you talk to them present day, the ones who are still living, they will still talk about what almost was as if it's almost still possible. And I don't want to be one of those people who can't talk about it in a real legitimate way. Like I want to make sure that the visions that I have for myself, because my visions don't just revolve around me, but the visions that I have of self and community around me, that they actually come to fruition. So I want to break the cycle, the generational cycle and curse of not achieving in the way that I set out to. Yeah, I don't gotta put no name on that bullet or anybody like that, but there's people who, I look at them present day and it's the generation before me, and I'm like, yo, I don't want that outcome. Like I do not want to be 67 years old talking about, yeah, when I back, I almost like I'm not trying to do that, bro. Like hell no. I'll leave the country before. Like I'll exist outside of the confines of this country before I'm walking around being one of them people. I ain't doing that. Hell no. You want to be deep today?
Why not? Let's go.
All right. So you want to be a dad one day?
Yeah.
What's one thing you want to give your child that you didn't have?
I want to pass on the idea that if you really work towards something and put consistent effort into it, you can actually do it. Because when I was younger, I thought I could do things and I was gonna do things. I don't even know what. Of course, I was young, but I didn't. A lot of stuff that. So, for example, I used to want to be a YouTuber when I was younger. Want to make videos and whatnot, like every kid did. But I never really tried because I thought, oh, it's impossible. I have to be super lucky. It's all this needs equipment, and I don't know if I could do it. It's all that and a bunch of honestly excuses. I didn't think, oh wait, okay, how would if I did this? How would that affect that? I didn't think of the path that would lead to that. I didn't consistently think of that, and on top of that, I didn't do things that would eventually lead me to that road. So clearly, it was a YouTuber, my sister, and I never tried to study her or do things or study what she did because I just assumed, oh, I can't do it, which we know has kind of been an issue with me overall. But I want to instill in my kids that, like, you could do whatever if you really want to do it, just do it and like try to do and put effort into doing that.
You do know the best way to teach that lesson is to exude and exist in that lesson, like acquire it yourself and really live that, because you're 17 years old, bro. It's not like life is over. Like, you can be a whole new guy tomorrow if you made the decision to. It starts here. Like, I don't know if y'all know this, but Dylan has never watched the episode of 9 Months Out. Have you watched one yet?
Not an entire episode.
He has not watched an entire episode of the thing that he is on. I find that to be crazy. But the reason I give you grace is because I've been on TV shows that I didn't watch. So there can be a bit of, I don't think this is why you do it, but I don't watch it because I'm like, ugh, cringe. I don't want to see myself. You just don't do it because.
That's also kind of why a little bit.
Is that why?
A little bit, yeah.
But the way to get better is by like observing self, like in recognizing, okay, that's my pattern. I do that when I talk. I got to slow down right there. I got to like not do the thing. Like all these things, you get better by studying game tape. You just didn't play sports, so you don't know that. But it's a thing, bro. Like you have a natural gift of oration. You speak very thoughtfully. You're very considerate in your word choices. And the things that you don't do well are very correctable if you study yourself. Like, I don't know how else to tell you that, but yeah. You also can sit by me while I edit because, then you can pick and choose. Yo, can you shorten that? Like, there's a bit of TV magic that goes on here. You wouldn't know it because you don't watch, but.
I mean, I trust your editing.
I know that you do, but I'm trying to this nigga. I'm trying to get you to be invested in something that you're a part of. You understand? Like, and it's not just this because I'm doing it with you. I think there's this saying, how you do anything is how you do everything. And I want you to develop like the habit of doing everything to the max level with maximum effort. And it starts in just acquiring new information, new skills. You say you want to be in film. Why wouldn't you want to learn how to like edit? Like in a real, okay, like, oh, that's storytelling. Like now you can see like when I punch in, like there's a whole bunch of different things that I just think you could benefit from by just sitting close by and watching. Pivoting away from that. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate my cooking skills?
Let's say 8.5.
Okay. 8.5. I can respect that. Would you have a favorite dish that I make?
I don't know a favorite, but one of my favorites was the curry shrimp you made. The curry shrimp. Because I'm not a big shrimp guy usually, but when you made that, I was like, oh, this is like, dope. That's one of my favorites, definitely.
Shocker. Dad's got some skills. Okay. I was just wondering, there's some people out there who be hating on my cooking skills. They be like, you don't know how to cook? And I be like,
who? Well, don't say it, but
we don't. Come on, bro. Dad a little. Dad, keep it easy. No name, no case. You dig? What other questions you got for me?
Out of all the jobs you ever had, what was you would say your favorite
Besides being your dad,
besides being my father? Yeah.
job sucked for a long time. Um, my favorite job. Ironically, man, this job that I have right now is one of my favorites. It's probably the least visible job I've ever had in my life. Not a lot of people know about it. I don't broadcast it nearly as much as I should. But it's been some of my favorite work. I really like my co-host, Samaria. I think that she's an incredible talent. I like my producer. I like the flexibility and freedom that I have in doing what I do now. And it affords me so much free time while also being extremely warm and welcoming for who I am. So I got to shout out Tanya and Jose and Joe and everybody at the I1, TV1, Fumble family that have afforded me the luxury of having this perfect job situation, especially in this current market. Outside of this current job, when I worked for the Wizards in DC, I'm a huge basketball nut. You know that.
Yeah.
So being able to be courtside at 41 NBA games in a season, not including playoffs, in a city like Washington, D.C., where, I mean, I got my jersey retired. It was different. I put up numbers on the board in D.C., however you want to interpret that statement. So it was a great time for me. And, I think that's something that goes hand in hand with my legacy. People will always and forever probably relate me to Washington, D.C. because of that experience. Like,
Yeah, that was always like, to me, always super dope. Like, I remember one time, you let me scream like, "Let's go Wizards" on the thing. I look back at that, I'm like, that was a dope job you had. That was really cool, and I was always proud of that for you having that and having that experience. That was always dope.
yeah, there's so many people who you don't even remember who know you so well, who know of your existence and will hit me from time to time and just check on you and be like, "Yo, how's your son doing?" And I'm like, "Yo, he's good." Like people of note, like people who have done incredible things in this world are like, "Yo, how?" Like just be like, "Yo, what's up with your son?" Like you're a part of so many people's memory that you have no idea. Like you have no idea, bro. And sometimes I'm shocked that people remember, but you were there, and you don't know how often you were there because it's hard to recall it all. But you used to be there, bro. Money.
Okay.
How important is money to you?
To an extent, I understand the importance of money and how I know it's important to my life. I know I need it and all that. But I think, you taking care of me, being my father and whatnot, and just how I was raised with like not really understanding money, I think it made me not, I guess, cherish it. So I never really, like, it's not constantly in my mind or something I'm always thinking about, or that I feel is super, not super important, but super, I guess, almost worrisome for maybe what it should be necessarily. I mean, of course, I'm like young. I'm not paying bills, but I don't.
You could be, by the way, just for the record. There's some bills you could cover.
What at the moment I'm not. So until that eventual point, yeah, I guess I would say it's not necessarily the thing for me.
What do you think is a good age for you to start paying your own cell phone bill?
Around 21. You have some time, most likely to yourself, unless you leave your parents still. But you have some time to yourself. Unless you're in college, so you might be in college, but you might have a job at that point. It depends on like your situation. But I feel like around that time, you kind of have a level of experience of being an adult out in the world and whatnot. And I think that certain responsibilities maybe you could pick up, which one of them being the phone bill. So I think that's a somewhat fair time.
Okay. So then between that window, between 18 to 21, when you're out of high school, maybe in college, maybe not, like what should you be financially responsible for?
I think to an extent, food. I think you should be able to feed yourself, at least for the most part. If you need help, then you need help. But I think you should, that's a responsibility someone could take up, and if not at 18, 19, 20, but I think that's a responsibility that a young adult should at least start to do, because getting groceries is like, you need to know what you need to get, how long it's going to last. And I think acquiring that skill of like, of managing food and how much it is, how much it's going to be, and how it's going to last, I think that's pretty important to pick up a little early.
But you think 19 and 20 is a little early? I think that's a little late, actually. And I'm getting to a point here, but it's just fascinating to see how your brain works, because, like, we're different. And it's a different time for sure. But, like, I always had a job. My first job, I washed dishes at this soul food restaurant called Ms. West. And I got fired after, like, 3 days. And she was like, you don't wash dishes fast enough. But after that, I had a job at Sears in the shoe department. I worked at a store called Against All Odds. I had all these fly clothes. Like, I used to like make sure that I had money in my pocket. And I think for your generation, well, let me not say for your generations, I don't know all the kids, but for you, I don't think you know what it's like to have a knot of money and watch it dwindle down. Like, you like, physical money is not really a thing anymore. So the concept of money is almost like a video game to y'all. You take your cell phone out and you tap a thing, and you never really get a full experience of what that transaction actually costs. You don't know what that's like. You don't know what it's like to see you're not getting smaller and be like, oh, damn, like, I'm about to be broke. Like, you don't have that relationship with money, and it scares the hell out of me, because if I can keep it a buck with you, 21 years old, paying for your cell phone, all right, cool, because, we got family plans and all of that, but clothes, getting fly, you think the only expense you should be on the books for is, like, feeding yourself? I don't know. Like, think about it. I had you at 22. You dig? Like, so rent, housing, all of those things were things that I had to come up with. And yeah, when I needed help and whatever, I could reach out, but I didn't like reaching out because it came at a cost. It was expensive in a different way than monetarily. What else you got for me?
Okay, so I think I know the answer to this one, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. So let's say a few years down the line, I'm doing whatever by myself, and you have a perfect situation, financially free. You have a woman, maybe. You're good.
I got a woman, maybe.
I don't know. Would you ever have more kids?
Ooh. Man, you're terrible, bro. You're so terrible. Would I have more kids? Bro, I don't know. There was a point in time in which I was super excited about the possibility of having more children. And yeah, I always thought that I would. I never in a million years would think that I would just have one life to help steward. At this age, at 40 years old, and with the child on the way out the door, the idea of waking up at 3, 4 in the morning and changing diapers and wiping ass just sounds crazy to me. Like, that's I'm so far removed from that. Like, I have homeboys who have children that are like 1 or 2 years old, and they're like, yo, you can give me some advice. I'm like, dog, I don't even remember that. Like, that's so long ago. Like, I'm in a completely different phase and chapter. Now, the enticements of having another child would be to, like, do it in a way that is rooted in love. And, we ain't got to go into details, but that wasn't the experience that I had when you came to be. And so the idea that I could do it in partnership with somebody that I love, that loves me, that wants to collaborate on the journey of raising a child is extremely beautiful, and one that I wish that I had and that I could potentially have down the line. But it just seems like such a tall task. I'm 40 years old. I'm single. Let's say I meet somebody today, and in a year we're like, we're gonna do it. Not it, but you know what I'm saying? Like, we're gonna have a kid. Well, you know what goes into making a baby, right?
Yes.
I'm just making sure. But that means, like, that would be 2 years essentially before we had a child, which would put me at 42. Dog, That means like high school graduation, I'm 60 years old. That math is crazy to me. It's wild. So, and I'll tell you this: there was a woman that I was dating who I loved very dearly, and we were incredibly close. And it's not who you're thinking of. And I thought that we would just like do all the things, right? I'm like, oh snap, like, oh, like this is my I love this person, and they were like, yo, I don't want any more kids. And I ended our experience because I'm like, yo, that's a deal breaker for me. Like I want more children. And fast forward now, I'm like, it's just like it's crazy. But I think I'm a phenomenal stepdad. I think I would flourish in the stepdad role. You know, the last situation or whatever. Like that was a huge part of why I love that relationship so much. Being able to be a part of their children's world. You know, like I loved that person's children and care for them greatly. And we'll forever, we'll always like from a distance, you know, see what's going on with them and wish them all the best. But I don't know, bro. If I had another kid, would you babysit?
Yeah, I'll be done.
Yeah. You wouldn't be jealous at all?
No.
No?
No. Why would I? Well, I know I would, but I wouldn't know.
I don't know. I'd have been kind of jealous if my mom would have had another kid like when I was 18.
No. Well, yeah, no. Because I would never feel like envy or nothing.
When I turned, this is mad funny. Yo, the day before I left for college, right? Like literally the day before I left to go to college, my dad picks me up and he's like, hey, yeah, I'm going to pick you up. We can go to the park. I'm like, the park? Nigga, we don't go to no park. We ain't never went to the park. Like, what are you talking about? So I'm just going to pick you up and we can go to the park. I'm like, all right, bro. He picks me up. He's like, I got to make a stop real quick. And he goes and he picks his little kid up. And I'm like, who is this kid? Nigga, like, he was like, I was 18, so the kid might have been like 8 or 9. So we get to the park. You know, this kid is a little awkward. And I'm too cool for school. So I'm like, dog, like, what is happening right now? Like, what is going on? He's like, yeah, right. This is your brother. And I was like, what are you talking about? What? He's like, yeah, this is your brother. And I was just like, says who? Because, like, I had seen this kid before because I knew this kid's mom. I know my dad and his mom used to kick it, but he had a dad, right? He had an active father in his life, all the things. And this kid didn't look like my dad. The kid looked Puerto Rican, and it didn't look like a biological match. So to this day, I don't know if that's my father's son for real because my father's very dramatic. But I like the kid. Like, he ended up being like a really cool guy. He graduated from North Carolina Central, and there's been times over the years where he would reach out just to touch base, to check on me or get some information or wisdom out of me. He got his degree in media journalism, so there was some synergy in between what I did and what he aspired to do. And yeah, he ended up being a cool kid, but I couldn't accept him for real, like on some brotherly, because it was too late. It was like, I don't know you, dog. Like, I don't know. Maybe that's foul. Maybe I shouldn't have told that story. Shout out to EJ, man, wherever you are.
Yeah, I never, maybe, I mean, because, I be babysitting a lot, so I never feel like a disconnect or like a strong disconnect between younger kids and me just being older. So it's never been like a thing for me.
Yeah, but okay, if let's say you come home from college and I'm laying here with a baby on my chest or swaddling a baby, and then you think back to this period where you don't remember, it could stir up some feelings like, man, my dad he's giving that kid the thing that I didn't have. I didn't get to lay on my dad's titty. You might start having like that. Like, there's things that come up sometimes that we don't even recognize that we had suppressed.
I mean, I think that could be a possibility, but I think if anything, I would just feel grateful that you have that experience that you can constantly have, but also that someone else is getting that love from you that maybe I never got that much.
First of all, nigga, you got
Or
it.
like
You don't remember it. Be very clear about that. You got it. Okay?
phrasing was bad, but like
That you recall. I understand
Yeah.
what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. Yeah, you know. I can't imagine that it would happen. Want me to be super honest?
What?
How honest do you want your dad to be right now?
Very.
There have been other opportunities for me to bring life into the world. Dad is fertile. Okay? There have been some clubs with my DNA on the wall. And for one reason or another, it never happened. People made decisions and choices. And so there were times in which there could have been siblings and they just didn't make it all the way in their journey. But I think about those things quite often. Actually, a lot more than I think most people realize that men think about them. Like, some of them have been really emotional to reflect on. One girl sent me a letter. I should not be sharing this. I might have been 20 years old. This is before you. And there was a woman who, it's so funny, she texted me the other day. She called me and told me that she was pregnant. And I was just like, that's crazy. All right, so we're having a baby. And she was like, no, we're not having a baby. And I was like, oh, you're gonna, and she was like, yeah. And I was like, she's like, no, that's what I'm doing. I said, cool. And then she sent me a letter in the physical mail, because that's how we used to communicate sometimes back in the day. And she sent me a picture of the sonogram of our aborted child in a letter, and like went into great detail about all the things. We're still really good friends, like still mad love, but that was bugged out. You look like you're in shock right now. There's a lot, man. You have a reaction or response to that?
I don't I mean, I guess it's weird thinking that I guess I'm surprised, but it's weird the idea in my head that you could have had a kid before me. Oh no. That's
2.
what?
My high school girlfriend. I'm giving you so much right now. My high school girlfriend. I left. I got to college. I was in my dorm. My high school girlfriend was a senior in high school. I get to college. My first week in my dorm, she called me. Rodney, I'm pregnant. Because she was a small girl. And I was like, what? She's like, I'm pregnant. I was just like, nah, what you mean? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, oh my God. And this is going to sound very foul. Listen, this is going to sound very foul, but I'm being honest about my experience, okay? This is my truth. A couple of weeks later, she calls me. We weren't even together at this point. Or maybe I was making her pretend we were. I don't know. I might have been acting like we were together because she was pregnant. And I was like, oh, God. So a couple of weeks later, she calls me and she's like, damn, let me do that again because I can't be laughing when I tell this story. She calls me and she's like, Rodney, I'm bleeding. I think I'm having a miscarriage. And I'm like, yo, you should go to the doctor or whatever. And so she went and she had a miscarriage. And, she called and I felt bad. I said, I'm so sorry. And then we hung up. And I jumped up for joy and celebrated all weekend long. Because there was no way in hell that I was ready to be a dad at 18 years old. Anyway, and on that note, let us wrap this up like I should have been doing at 18. 9 months out, we out of here. Oh, man. That was a lot of information. That too much for you?
It's cool.
Wild times, bro. Yeah. Wild times.